Gather round, comic book lovers of the multiverse, because things are about to get seriously epic. Coming straight out of the darkest corners of heaven and hell is the crossover you never knew you needed. Get ready for Hell's Reckoning, Spawn vs. Punisher. Get your minds blown and your spines tingling as these two ultimate badasses collide in a cosmic clash of biblical proportions. We've got Hellspawn Spawn, the chains and chainsaw-wielding anti-hero, facing off against the Punisher, the avenging angel with a skull on his chest and a gun in each hand. It's like if your wildest comic dreams had a baby with a lightning bolt, and that baby was raised by a pack of werewolves. Picture this. Demonic forces are spilling out onto the streets and nobody's safe. Not your neighbor's cat, not your grandma's apple pie, and certainly not your innocent bystander's status. The streets are about to become a battlefield, and these two titans are taking no prisoners. It's supernatural showdown meets explosive gunfight with enough action to make your heart race faster than you after a box of comic books. Will they clash? Will they team up? Will they chew bubblegum and kick demon butt? You'll have to grab a copy of Hell's Reckoning, Spawn vs. Punisher to find out. Brace yourselves for the comic book event of the century that's going to rock your socks off. So mark your calendars, save up your allowance, and get ready to experience the crossover that'll have you shouting, "Holy cosmic collision, Batman!" Available at your local comic shop soon, because when hell and heaven collide, it's going to be a hell of a ride. Hell's Reckoning, Spawn vs. Punisher. Don't miss it, or you'll be in for a supernatural regret. Comic book awesomeness awaits, true believers. Coming at you here with a quick solo shot. I think I'm going to call this AI Rights. Most likely, if you've listened to any of the shows that I've been on here recently, I've been using ChatGPT to help analyze and do synopsis for the notes that I take while I'm reading comics for the shows that I'm getting ready to do. And you'll hear me, a lot of the shows I've already got recorded in the can coming up here pretty soon are ones where you'll hear me reference ChatGPT, and there's a real funny interaction between me and Mark where I asked ChatGPT to help me respond to a situation he was putting me in. But we recorded that, I think, over a month ago, and I've been steadily using ChatGPT more and more, and what I found is that it can be at least an entertaining fan fiction writer. Just today, I posted something on my Facebook. It all got started when today I was scrolling through Facebook and I saw somebody had posted an article. I don't even know what the article was, to be honest. I just know it was referencing They Live and Christine. Now, somebody out there probably knows what this article was off the top of their head. But to me, I was like, well, I just scrolled on past, didn't pay attention to what the title was. Right after I got off work today, I went over to ChatGPT and I pasted the Wikipedia entries, specifically the plot of both Christine and They Live, and I told it to come up with a sequel movie where essentially They Live and Christine were in the same universe. They Live is about these aliens that are already here, and there is a homeless man, played by Roddy Piper, who ends up with a pair of glasses that can actually see these subliminal messages that these aliens are using, along with the people that look like humans but are actually aliens, and they've been around and among us for a while. So there's the plot, or at least the main concept behind They Live. Christine is a Stephen King movie. I should say a movie based on a Stephen King story about a car that is killing people. Not a single person out there probably thought, oh, hey, we got to join these two universes. It makes complete sense. It makes no sense as to why one would be with the other. But I wanted to see if ChatGPT could provide us with a sensible plot to a sequel where both of those movies are in the same universe. And needless to say, I wasn't let down. Now, I've been kind of fine-tuning this. If you've never messed with ChatGPT before, I guess I better get into that too to kind of give you a background there of what it is. It's an AI tool. You can get in there and talk to it, feed it information, and it is considered a large language model, I believe is what it is. And I'm definitely not the person to tell you the ins and outs of it. But I can say that interacting with ChatGPT is very much like interacting with a human. But the advantages of this technology are pretty massive. The entertainment value, that's what I'm going for here. So we got to keep this related to comics because this is the Source Material Comics podcast after all. So my plan was, let's do a crossover. I love crossovers. I've said it before on this podcast plenty of times. Now I have the opportunity to take two characters, throw their Wikipedia entry into ChatGPT and see what it can come up with. So my next step was, okay, what two characters should I cross over? You know, in the 90s, two of the hotter characters out there were Spawn, Todd McFarlane's Image Comics Spawn, and of course, my favorite character, the Punisher. And I did not see that we ever got a crossover written or in print featuring these two characters. So to give you kind of a background on those characters, quick, dirty background, and trust me, there was way more to these wikis than what I remember, but Spawn is actually Al Simmons. He was killed by his teammate. After dying, he went to hell, and essentially he wants to be able to see the love of his life one more time. And the devil takes him up on that bargain and says, you can do this as long as you serve me in the upcoming battle that we are going to have as a Hellspawn. So Al Simmons finds himself back on Earth, but he looks like a demon, has a cape and powers. Of course, that's not what he thought was going to happen. So most of the book is him dealing with his current situation. He's not evil, especially in the beginning. He's not evil by any means, but he's very much an anti-hero. Now, the Punisher, Frank Castle, he was once a military man who had come home on a day where he took his family to the park. Unfortunately, they got caught between two crime families who were warring at the time, and he gets injured when there's a shootout and his family gets killed. That sets him off to become the vigilante, the Punisher. There's a lot of history for these characters, especially the Punisher. I'll tell you that the Marvel Wiki for the Punisher is massive. I'm pretty sure it's over 15 pages when you copy and paste it to like Google Docs. So I took all of these histories and I threw them into ChatGPT and I said, look, I'm going to give you the information for these characters and then I'm going to ask you to do something for me. And this is where we get to the good part. So here we go. The crossover. Let me at least say what I did and prompted ChatGPT to do after I took the synopsis for each character and put it in there. So I said, I'd like for you to come up with a plot for a 4-issue crossover comic featuring Spawn and the Punisher. Try to include the following: a title for each issue, some elements from each of their backgrounds, some familiar characters they have both dealt with in the past, and an explanation as to why they're there. Suggest a comic book artist for the issues, and maybe use some of the religious elements of their past to explain why they are crossing paths. So, obviously, I just told you about Spawn going to hell and becoming a Hellspawn. What you may not have known is the time that there was a time where Frank committed suicide and then was resurrected by an angel and given heavenly weapons to deal out justice. So, okay, there you go. That's what I prompted ChatGPT to do. And just like that, as soon as I hit the enter button, we now have Hell's Reckoning, Spawn versus Punisher. Issue 1, Shadowed Beginnings. In the heart of New York City, the streets run crimson as a sudden surge of supernatural forces begins to flood the city. Detecting an otherworldly presence, Frank Castle, aka the Punisher, starts investigating a series of brutal murders that bear a sinister, occult signature. Meanwhile, Spawn, Al Simmons, is drawn to the same city by an eerie demonic disturbance. As the two heroes cross paths, they find themselves caught in a web of dark magic that connects their worlds. So that's issue 1. The characters and elements here, it listed them here. This is interesting. the Punisher's experience with the occult, and his military background. Okay. Characters: Violator, a sadistic demon who sees the chaos as an opportunity to sow further destruction. Sam and Twitch, New York PD detectives, reach out to the Punisher for help. Seems kind of odd. Now, the artist that they suggested here, they suggested Alex Maleev as artist. Now, Alex Maleev, you may remember from quite a few things, actually. Looks like a good run with Brian Michael Bendis on Daredevil between issues 26 and 50, 56 through 81, and issue 100. Moon Knight 1 through 12 with Brian Michael Bendis. Apparently, he hangs out a lot with Brian Michael Bendis over at Marvel, when he was at Marvel for a while. Oh, did a 3-issue miniseries of Superman versus the Predator. So there you go. That's Alex Maleev. Next up, issue 2, Cursed Alliances. As the supernatural forces continue to ravage the city, Violator manipulates innocent souls, forging an unholy alliance with Jigsaw, who's managed to return from the grave with dark powers. Sensing Violator's presence, Spawn seeks information from a mysterious occult expert who reveals that Violator plans to unleash a devastating entity that will engulf the world in eternal darkness. Meanwhile, Punisher finds himself in a deadly showdown with Jigsaw's revived crew, only to be rescued by Spawn. So the characters and elements here it listed with Spawn's connections to the supernatural realm and his quest for redemption. Characters, they listed Cogliostro, a former Hellspawn and mentor to Spawn, guides him to find Violator's lair. Kingpin, who seeks to take advantage of the chaos, of course, to expand his criminal empire. And the artist they had listed here was an artist by the name of Clayton Crane, known for his digital painted work on Marvel comic books such as Ghost Rider, X-Force, and Carnage. Curse of the Spawn 24 through 29, back in the late 90s. He did an issue of Sam and Twitch. He's got some experience there. He also did Carnage number 1 through 5, the 2010 series. He did Ghost Rider Road to Damnation and Ghost Rider Trail of Tears from 2005 and 2006 and 2007. So that's Clayton Crane. All right, let's move on to issue 3. Issue 3. As Violator's plan unfolds, it becomes clear that the entity he seeks to summon is a being of unimaginable power, capable of consuming both heaven and hell. Spawn and Punisher join forces, foregoing uneasy alliance to stop Violator's apocalyptic scheme. Together, they infiltrate Violator's lair, where they face legions of demonic minions and must overcome their own personal demons to prevail. However, a shocking twist reveals that Violator is just a pawn in a larger cosmic game. So characters and elements, it says exploring the internal struggles of both Spawn and the Punisher. Characters. Angela. Oh, goodness. This is interesting. Angela, who is now a Marvel property, showing up in a book that has Spawn in it? Interesting. Angela, a fierce warrior from heaven, arrives to assist in stopping the cataclysmic threat. Ma Nucci, who sees the supernatural chaos as an opportunity to reclaim power. And our artist, Greg Capullo. That's right. That's pretty solid art right there, especially for a Spawn book. Oh, I wonder if he's done a rendition of Punisher. I'd have to look that up. Sure he has. But Cap on a Spawn book, beautiful. All right. And then our final issue, titled Final Redemption. As the true mastermind behind the apocalyptic plan is revealed to be Malboja, the ruler of hell, Spawn and Punisher must confront their own pasts and confront the sinister forces that seek to manipulate them. With the aid of Angela, Cogliostro, and their own determination, the unlikely duo launches an all-out assault on Malboja's stronghold in hell. In a climactic battle, they must not only defeat Malboja, but also close the rift between their worlds and prevent the apocalypse from consuming everything. Characters and elements. Addressing themes of redemption and sacrifice. Okay. Characters. Heaven's forces and Hell's legions clash in a cosmic struggle. The Violator, now revealed to have been deceived by Malboja, makes a final stand against his manipulator. Oh my. So the Violator, upset, turns on Malboja. And coming back and doing this 4th issue, finally, the Todd Father returns. Todd McFarlane on the art. The man behind Spawn. Finally coming back for this iconic 4-issue crossover featuring the Punisher and Spawn. The Hell's Reckoning Spawn vs. Punisher crossover comic explores the dark and supernatural aspects of both characters' universes while delving into their personal struggles and the moral choices they face. The collaboration between the two iconic anti-heroes showcases their unique strengths, challenging them to overcome their differences and join forces against a threat that transcends their individual domains. What do you think? It's interesting that they have Kingpin and Manucci. They almost feel like, for crying out loud, folks, the world is about to end, and these guys are making moves for street power. You know what? Let's ask, how does Manucci and the Kingpin factor into the overall narrative of the story? Okay, it's going to give me a couple paragraphs here. Manucci, a ruthless and cunning crime lord, sees the chaos unleashed by the supernatural forces as an opportunity to regain her lost power and prominence. She recognizes that the city's law enforcement and superheroes are overwhelmed by the occult threats, leaving a power vacuum that she can exploit. Manucci, having survived her previous encounter with the Punisher, seizes the chance to establish herself as the dominant criminal force in the city. Early in the story, the Punisher discovers that Manucci has gathered a gang of criminals, including some with newfound supernatural abilities. She utilizes dark magic artifacts obtained from the occult disturbance to enhance her own strength and to control her underlings more effectively. As the story progresses, her activities intertwine with those of Violator and Jigsaw as they all vie for power in the midst of the supernatural turmoil. Manucci's ambitions lead her to clash directly with the Punisher and Spawn. Her criminal empire and newfound mystical prowess make her a formidable adversary. The Punisher and Spawn must confront her and her gang, leading to intense battles and moral dilemmas. Ultimately, Manucci's presence serves to complicate the already chaotic situation and force the anti-heroes to question their methods and motivations. As for the Kingpin, Wilson Fisk, recognizes the potential benefits of the supernatural chaos for his criminal operations. He believes that the upheaval in the city can distract law enforcement and allow him to expand his empire further. However, he also recognizes the danger posed by the overwhelming forces at play. That's good. I'm glad he does. As a result, he seeks to form a temporary alliance with other crime bosses to ensure their mutual survival. This makes sense. Kingpin's involvement is not directly confrontational with the Punisher and Spawn. Rather, he operates behind the scenes, pulling strings and manipulating events to his advantage. He uses his resources to gather intelligence on the supernatural occurrences, attempting to exploit any weakness he can uncover. While the Punisher and Spawn may not directly engage with Kingpin, his actions contribute to the complex web of alliances and conflicts that shape the narrative. Kingpin's motivations and actions serve to highlight the pragmatic and opportunistic nature of his character, contrasting with the more supernatural and ethereal elements of the story. His presence underscores the theme of power struggles and the blurred lines between different factions in the face of a greater cosmic threat. Wow. I want to ask if Punisher's previous role as an angel has anything to do with the story. Wait, dude. It gave me a whole new story based off of that. I'm going to read this. We got a whole new story now. I just asked if I should have asked if the Punisher's previous role as an angel factor into the story. But anyway, here's what it said. It said, yes, the Punisher's role as an angel can indeed factor into the story to add an additional layer of complexity and depth. Here's how you can incorporate this element. For content's sake, you guys get a little bit of a bonus episode here. So the Punisher in this story is an angel. And we're going to read Heaven's Convergence, Dark Alliances, Heavenly Sacrifice, and Reckoning of the Divine. Are you ready? Here we go. Issue 1. The story begins with an ominous event, a tear in the fabric of reality that allows malevolent forces to infiltrate the world. As both hell and heaven sense the disturbance, they send emissaries to investigate and restore the balance. Meanwhile, the Punisher, acting as a celestial enforcer, is tasked by the angelic realm to investigate the supernatural disturbance. Spawn, sensing the upheaval, crosses paths with the Punisher during his own investigation, leading to an initial clash of ideologies. However, they soon realize they share a common goal: to prevent the demonic and angelic realms from using Earth as their battleground. Issue 2, Dark Alliances. As Spawn and the Punisher delve deeper into the mystery, they discover that Violator and his demonic cohorts are manipulating events to accelerate the convergence of Hell and Earth. Manucci, driven by her desire for power, forms a temporary alliance with Violator, seeing him as a means to regain her criminal empire. Simultaneously, Kingpin forms an uneasy alliance with Manucci, recognizing the potential advantages of this supernatural chaos. The Punisher's angelic nature adds a unique dynamic as he grapples with the interplay between demonic and angelic forces, while Spawn brings his own insights from the realm of hell. Issue 3, Heavenly Sacrifice. As the demonic and angelic realms converge on Earth, the Punisher's angelic identity becomes a focal point of the conflict. The angelic hierarchy sees Earth as a potential battleground to settle the cosmic dispute, even at the cost of innocent lives. The Punisher faces a moral dilemma as he struggles to balance his duty as an angel with his commitment to protecting humanity. Meanwhile, Spawn's experiences in hell offer a unique perspective, challenging the traditional notions of good and evil. The alliance between the Punisher and Spawn is tested as they confront Violator, Manucci, and Kingpin in a climactic showdown. Issue 4, Reckoning of the Divine. In the final issue, the forces of hell, heaven, and earth collide in an epic battle. The Punisher's angelic power becomes a beacon of hope as he rallies allies from both human and celestial realms against the combined threat of Violator, Manucci, and their demonic and criminal forces. Spawn's understanding of the supernatural and his unique connection to both hell and earth prove crucial in unraveling Violator's plan and preventing the realms from converging. As the dust settles, the Punisher and Spawn part ways, each having gained a new perspective on their roles in the cosmic order. Throughout the story, the Punisher's role as an angel serves as a thematic exploration of morality, duty, and the complexities of divine intervention. It adds a layer of conflict within the Punisher himself and highlights the blurred lines between good and evil and celestial. The element also fosters a unique dynamic between the Punisher and Spawn as they navigate the supernatural landscape while confronting their own pasts and identities. Wow. As I said, fanfic generator. I don't know. What do you guys think? What's the next one I should do? That's what I want to ask you. If you're listening to this, I want to know, what is the next crossover that I need to do? Do you want to see it a sequel to something? Is there a comic out there that never really got finished that you would like to find out how ChatGPT would write it? Send me your suggestion at Stiznarkey on X/Twitter, and maybe your concept will be the next thing that I talk about. All right, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for joining me. Hope you were entertained. Look forward to the next AI Writes. Talk to you then.